I know I'm super late to the game on this. I wanted to collect as much information as I could before I gave my opinion. Again, just my opinion, means nothing. So take it with a grain of salt. This video is just in regards to the active shooter at the In-N-Out, and then Jordan Salanis, who stepped in and fired some rounds and drove him back and made him retreat. Why I wanted to make this video is I saw a lot of criticisms. I saw a lot of praise too, which is great. A lot of criticisms. So I'm here to kind of talk about the criticisms. First and foremost, I think what he did took balls. It takes a lot of. It's not easy to risk your life for, random people. And he did that. He didn't have any skin in the game. His family wasn't there, anything like that. He took it upon himself to try to save, innocent lives. So that takes balls. That takes courage. That's bravery. Kudos to that man. My biggest fear is if I ever pull my gun out, someone's gonna think I'm the actual perpetrator and actually engage me and shoot me and kill me. And there's a lot of scenarios you got to play in your head whenever you do draw that weapon. So kudos to him for doing that. I take nothing away from him. I think it was great for the 2A community, great for the gun community, great for all the concealed carriers out there. I think it made everyone look good. So regardless if he missed, I understand that. He missed, he didn't hit him. He did save lives. Hopefully he was aware of his surroundings, what was beyond his target, what was around his target, because if he would have, his missed rounds would have hit a innocent bystander, that's something he's got to live with the rest of his life, and he's going to go to jail for the rest of his life. So, and I get that. That was one of the criticisms. He didn't hit him. And we'll talk about the kind of choice of gun and all that kind of stuff, what he did, what he didn't have on that, because that was another criticism. So talk about the first criticism is basically he missed his training, sucked, blah, 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 all that stuff. Yes, if you go to his YouTube, he's shooting at 3 feet. It looks cool, but that's not really, not really practice. I know that FBI stats say everything's within 3 yards or 3 feet when weapons are discharged. I get that. That's more LE related because you're hands-on, you're patting down, you're doing all that kind of stuff. So I kind of don't really pay attention to that stat whatsoever. For people that are concealed carrying, 9 times out of 10 you're going up against someone with a carbine, and you don't want to get 3 feet with someone with a carbine. I don't care if they're not as proficient as you are. You don't want to be 3 feet with someone with a carbine. I know I don't. So that's the other thing. So the training that I got from when I read was 2021. He made it, he kind of took it serious, took it upon himself to start actively training, carrying a gun, whatnot, which is awesome. A non-negotiable is you should carry a gun everywhere you go. That's a non-negotiable. You should carry it. You should be adequate with it, train with it if you carry it, and you should. So I don't know what his training was. So that's one of the criticisms that I read. So kind of talk about that is the importance of training distance. If you go to your local grocery store, Walmart, Target, I'm not saying bring a tape measure, measure this, but from start to end of the aisle is about 20, 25 yards. I mean, that's typically, what you're looking at to take a shot from if you're at the opposite end of the aisle and the perpetrator's on the other end of the aisle. Can you do that? Are you confident enough to make that shot? And that's where training distance does come from. I know this is more of a, this is my USPSA channel. This is my follow my journey to GM. And I do want to make GM. That's a big goal of mine. Making master was awesome. Great feeling. I wish I had started USPSA a long time ago. However, I didn't, and it is what it is. But I did take classes. I remember the first class I ever took, when I left it, I couldn't believe I even carried a gun. Before that, I was a problem, not an answer. I was a liability. So if you carry a gun, you should definitely get training on it. First and foremost, get training, sign up for matches. End of discussion. Second criticism was his gun of choice. Again, me personally, I would never select that gun. I wouldn't even think about carrying that gun. That's his choice. Maybe he trains a lot with it. He's confident with it. A suppressor on a pistol, I think, is a neat trinket. I don't think it's not a necessity on a carbine. Different story. But a pistol, it's just kind of a cool thing. We're not in the mob. We're not running around we're not hitmen taking people out with 22s. I don't think a suppressor on pistol is necessary whatsoever. It's more of a trinket, it's more of a cool factor at the range. I'd rather see him have a red dot on there. Red dots are, it's 2026. Red dots are the future. You should have a red dot on everything you own. I have it on shotguns, carbines, pistols. I don't have one single thing without a red dot on it. And it's because it's technology advances. We're not shooting muskets anymore, so why are we running irons? Irons fail just more so than optics. And especially for distance, the whole thing of, oh, he didn't hit him. Well, you're front sight focused when you're shooting irons. With an optic, you're target focused. Big difference. It's a lot easier to shoot distance with an optic than it is iron sight. So again, I'm not taking anything away from Jordan. I think what he did was heroic. I'm just talking about the criticisms that I've read. The only thing I agree with is the gun. So another thing we kind of want to talk about is the gun of choice. I was heard this a long time ago, where if you woke up today's the day someone's gonna try to kill you. So, you got the heads up. Today's the day. While you're out today, someone's gonna try to kill you. So before you leave the house, what are you gonna grab? You're gonna grab a P320, or you're gonna grab a Glock 19 size gun, Glock 17 size gun, which is, it's just bigger, easier to control, easier to handle, everything. Usually has more rounds in it too, unless you're talking about the macro, all that stuff. But I'm just comparing a micro to a regular size gun. So you're gonna probably pick that Glock 17. I know I would. I want the biggest gun I can carry and get away with it. I don't think micros have any. You can't run a micro like you can a regular size gun. I don't carry anything beside, the smallest gun I carry is a 19 size, Glock 19 size gun. I carry the PDP F-Series PMMM comp, and I carry a full size PDP 4-inch barrel. Those are my two carries. I would never carry anything else. I do have a Hellcat from when me and my wife go on walks. That's just because I'm being active, and I do want to be a little bit more comfortable. As I'm in gym shorts and a bigger gun's gonna weigh them down, I would be uncomfortable. But comfort's not the name of the game. I'm not carrying a gun to be comfortable. I'm carrying a gun to protect myself. So get a better holster, get a better belt to be able to hold a bigger gun and be comfortable with doing it. So that's the two biggest things, that the criticisms that I've seen. And I just wanted to share my thoughts on the gun of choice. And what I do recommend, like I said, what I recommend is carry the biggest gun as you can. Get a better belt, get a better holster. Micros, you can't run a micro like you can the regular gun. It's proven. I've seen in class, people show up in class and they have P365s, these little micro guns, and they can't hit shit at all. I don't care if you train with it all the time, you're still not as proficient as you would be with a Glock 19 size or a Glock 17 size. I promise you. So get training if you carry, and you should, again, non-negotiable, carry a gun, get an optic for that gun, and sign up for matches. That's it. So again, kudos to Jordan. Jordan had huge balls doing what he did. Like I said, I'm more pro Jordan than probably others. I just want to talk about the criticisms. So the criticisms that I saw in there, and that comes from, I feel like I'm just reiterating the importance of training and the importance of gun selection, and what you have on your gun. So take it for what it's worth. Hopefully this helped. Let me know in the comments.